They tried to silence him. They erased his name. But he rebuilt from nothing. He fought every algorithm. They tried again and failed. Now he's back, stronger. From blackout to spotlight, he's at the White House, at the top of his game. Franchi lives.
You are about to enter another dimension, the dimension of truth, unfiltered and uncensored. Welcome to the Raw Feed with Gary Franchi.
A nation tested by chaos. Honor endures. Corruption breeds decay.
Ideals collide.
Allies divided. Evil revealed.
The unseen war isn't coming. It's here.
The Raw Feed starts now.
Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America. Unfiltered truth to millions on YouTube. Hit those donation links below. Every contribution powers our gear. Every contribution keeps the party going. Help me help you. Hit those donation links. YouTube channel memberships. Special acknowledgement in the fellowship. Your super chats keep me standing. Your Rumble rants fuel every round.
Say hello to super chats.
Spread the intel. Every repost extends our reach.
Super chats fuel this spectacle. Your Rumble rants give me strength.
24/7 members-only community, behind-the-scenes discussions.
Connect with fellow patriots.
My mama always said, life is like sharing the truth. Text this stream to your friends.
What if I told you the app is real? Download the Next News Network app. Android users, take the Google Play path. iPhone users, App Store awaits.
What's up, folks? The political earthquake has just rocked Washington and left the establishment elites scrambling for cover as their house of cards collapses in real time. Good evening. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight on the Raw Feed, we're witnessing history unfold as the Democrat machine implodes, international alliances shatter, A spiritual war erupts across America. Before we dive in, we're monitoring breaking news about our friend Elijah Schaffer, who's been hit with a $5 million defamation lawsuit by apparently the FBI Director Kash Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins. We'll keep you updated as this story develops. And speaking of historic moments, on this day in 1920, the first Armistice Day was observed, honoring those who fought in World War I. Just as our veterans stood against tyranny overseas a century ago, today's patriots are battling a different kind of enemy, one that operates from within our borders, celebrates political assassination, and literally manifests as demonic forces attacking truth-tellers in their sleep. Tonight's show explodes with 5 earth-shattering stories that prove we're living through the most consequential moment in American history. Chuck Schumer's political career just hit rock bottom with the worst approval ratings of any Senate leader in 4 decades. His iron grip on power shattered when John Fetterman, yes, that John Fetterman, publicly torched his own party for crossing what he called a red line by refusing to pay our troops and starving 42 million Americans on food assistance. But that is only the appetizer. We're uncovering the smoking gun on Obamacare, a $27 billion annual funds fraud scheme that's been funneling taxpayer money to 6.4 million people who don't even qualify. MIT's own architect of the program admitted on camera it was designed to exploit voter stupidity. 800,000 illegal aliens are using fake Social Security numbers to steal health care benefits while you struggle to pay premiums that have skyrocketed 300%. And the violence reached a horrific crescendo at Berkeley last night. What should have been a solemn tribute, Turning Point USA's final tour stop after Charlie Kirk's assassination, became a battlefield. Antifa terrorists didn't just attack the event, they celebrated Kirk's murder while assaulting the students who came to honor his memory. These mass cowards, they threw glass bottles, shot fireworks, and beat mourners bloody, all while chanting death to Charlie Kirk. But in a moment that will echo through history, brave young patriots refused to be intimidated. They packed the auditorium and chanted their fallen leader's name in defiance. Meanwhile, our supposed ally, Britain, just stabbed America in the back. The UK has cut off all intelligence sharing about Caribbean drug smuggling operation, claiming our military strikes against cartel boats are illegal. That's right. While fentanyl floods our streets and kills our kids, the British government is protecting drug traffickers. This is the same week ICE arrested a Moldovan murderer who tortured her victim and threw him from a 9-story window before fleeing to America under Biden's open border policies. But nothing, and I mean nothing, will prepare you for what Tucker Carlson has now revealed. He was violently attacked by a demon in his sleep, waking up unable to breathe with bleeding claw marks across both sides of his ribs. Real America's Voice confirmed what millions of Christians already know. We're in a spiritual war for the soul of this nation. When Grant Stichfeld declared this is spawned from the devil himself, he wasn't speaking in metaphors. Now, the pattern connecting these events is undeniable. Political collapse feeds street violence. Open borders invite international betrayal. And behind it all lurks a darkness that's no longer hiding in the shadows. From the Senate floor to Berkeley's streets, from Chicago's sanctuary chaos to Britain's backstabbing, we're watching the systematic destruction of Western civilization in real time. Tonight, we connect the dots between political collapse, financial fraud, street violence, international betrayal, and supernatural warfare. The evidence is overwhelming. The stakes could not be higher. The time for denial is over. This is the Raw Feed. The revolution will be televised. So let's begin and welcome you to the show. Mrs. Pothead Kenny, Deborah Gomez, Melanie Martin, TK's Custom Supermods is back. Haven't seen you in a while. Who else is here? Tyson Curie, Angela Racky, S. Anthony, Patricia Duff, the one and only Rhonda Don in the house. Good to see y'all here, filing in. Make sure you hit that share button and text this out to your friends. Tell them Gary's on. Gary's live. You need to jump in here. Jump in the live feed. Who else? Michael Jones, Wayne Manhart, Rusty Shackleford. Who else is in the house tonight? Gail, Ronald, Ronan, Rob the Bomber. Sure, you in the house. What's up? Blessed Mess here too. AJ Ward, Truther Juggernaut. Joseph is here. Good on Fetterman. Colby Park. Josie. Thunder Amu is here. The gang is filing in. And once you have sent out that share, make sure you confirm in the chat so we can know who our active sharers are. If you're watching on Rumble, make sure you share that link. If you're watching on X, hit the refollow or repost, whatever it's called now, and on Facebook as well. Victor Licio is here. Annie and Blessed and Linda, America, Michael, Q Essence, Broken Prophet, IGWTS, Ront, pissed off handicap guy is pissed off because the intro is way too long. Not waiting for the news. Okay, well then you can leave. Go hang out on X. Do what you want. See, we have an introduction to the show because people get notifications and we give people adequate time to file into the program. That's how it works around here. Let's get into the show, Brian, because people have no patience, apparently. What should we want to wait? You want to wait a few more minutes? Okay, let's just wait a few more minutes. Maybe we should play the Jeopardy music. We can play the Jeopardy music. Do we have that?
How dare you?
You said people gonna die?
All right, Brian, let's go. A political betrayal so shocking even CNN can't spin it. One of the Democrats' rising stars just lit a match and torched his own party on national television. What he revealed about their secret strategy will certainly make your blood boil, and the timing right as their leader hits rock bottom with the worst numbers in American history. You need to see what happens next, because this is not just another Washington soap opera. When a party implodes this spectacularly, real Americans pay the price. 42 million citizens on food assistance were used as pawns. Our military families went without paychecks, all because Democrats thought they could break the Republican resistance and force their radical agenda down our throats, but something snapped. The very senator they groomed as their future just exposed their entire game plan. And while they're eating each other alive on Capitol Hill, working families are discovering something that they haven't felt in years: real economic hope. Trump's team is delivering actual results, rising incomes, shrinking deficits, and prosperity returning to Main Street. And the contrast couldn't be clearer. One side is self-destructing in real time. The other is rebuilding American prosperity. And as we wrap up 2025, it is time to reflect. We've learned uncertainty isn't temporary, it's permanent. And waiting for normal isn't a plan. My friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves for over a decade by diversifying with gold and silver. Now, nobody knows what 2026 will bring, but in uncertain worlds, real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, it's lasting in yours. When you're with your family this holiday season, remember, the best gift isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. And that's what Noble Gold delivers. Peace of mind, 1 ounce at a time. So before year's end, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit today. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And if you want those 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins, call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. But here's where it gets really wild. While Fetterman was destroying his party on live TV, leftist protesters were literally storming Democrat senators' offices, screaming about the betrayal. Van Jones looked like he'd seen a ghost trying to explain the collapse. Even Ocasio-Cortez went silent. And the numbers? Schumer's approval just hit the lowest point for any senator since 1985. That's not a red wave, it's a crimson tsunami. Meanwhile, Trump's economic team is floating checks to American families and mortgage plans that would transform home ownership forever. And then we have Governor Pritzker, my own governor, getting slammed as a disgrace after raging that air traffic controllers and troops and federal employees will now get paid. This guy is actually angry that people in the government are going to get paid again. He says he's disappointed.
On Senator Durbin's vote on Sunday, can you give us your first reaction on camera to that vote, and what should we make of the fact that the 7 Democrats and 1 independent are either not running imminently or retiring from office?
I have enormous respect and always have for Senator Durbin. I disagree with his vote. I do not think that the 8 members of the Senate that voted the way that they did should have done that. I think that we had an opportunity to make sure that we were protecting people's health care across the nation. But for whatever reason, those members decided to vote the way that they did. I'm disappointed. I think that more could have been done here. But there is another opportunity in January, and we'll see what happens.
Did you hear what he just said?
Do you want Senator Durbin?
He said there's another opportunity in January to shut the government down. He's like, yeah, we'll just wait till January. We'll do this all over again. That's your Democrat Party right there.
To endorse your Senate candidate, Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, or is this endorsement tainted?
I'm not going to speak to that here. I'll just say that I have worked with Senator Durbin over the years. He's a good person. He tries to do the right thing. I don't agree with what he did last Friday, or a couple of days ago, I guess. I don't agree with what he did, but I respect him, and I'm also, as many of you know, I believe that Juliana Stratton is the right person to replace him in the United States.
Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. Let's check in with John Fetterman. He went on The View, and every time he goes on The View, it just doesn't end well for them. Nicole Silverio. John Fetterman doesn't take Sunny Hostin's lecture. She tried to shame him for voting multiple times to reopen the government. Check this out.
Wrong. It was a horrific mistake. Governor Gavin Newsom called it pathetic and a surrender. Wow. Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week.
No. She blamed both parties. Okay.
Week. So you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Wow.
Well, first of all, MTG is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice or to get their kinds of my leadership and values from. And now if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, then that's on them. And now I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations. And a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now, for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward. And I would like to, rather than cite MTG, I'm going to cite one of the new governor-elects saying that my election is not a green light to continue the shutdown, because I promise you, this isn't a political game. It is viewed by many of us, but the reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from, and because we vote like that, or people that haven't been paid for 5 weeks now, and that kinds of chaos. Those workers have to borrow more than $500 million, from their credit union just to pay their bills now. So for me, we're in the middle of this.
Senator, I got to ask you to hold up a...
She wants to interrupt him because he's on a roll. President Trump today honoring our heroes on Veterans Day. saying our heroes have lived through unthinkable nightmares so we can live the American dream. And today we know without any doubt in our hearts that after 2.5 centuries, America stands tall because Americans' veterans stood tall. President Trump honoring our veterans at Arlington National Cemetery with selfless commitment and unyielding conviction.
Shielded and protected by a special cast of citizens who has stepped forward to safeguard liberty's cause. When danger came, when duty called, when Almighty God asked, who had the will and the strength to defend the land of the free, each and every American veteran stood up and said, here I am, send me, here I am. They've come from every corner of this nation, from the cornfields of Iowa to the hills and valleys of California, from the steel towns of Pennsylvania to the vast plains of Texas, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi to the 5 boroughs of New York City. With selfless commitment and unyielding conviction, they made themselves America's ramparts and became the shield between our homeland and those who would do us harm. With everything they had, they did one thing above all else. They put America first.
Amen. Our veterans put America first, but the Democrats certainly didn't do that. NEC Director Hassett, people's incomes are so much higher right now. A reporter says, what's more likely, a $2,000 tariff rebate check or a 50-year mortgage? Listen.
Well, I think that they're both really good ideas. The fact is that we've got a big reduction in the deficit. And the interesting thing is that it's not just because of tariff revenue. We've had a big positive shock to income taxes as well because people's incomes are so much higher. And so back in the summer when we were saying that for now, let's think of the tariff revenue as something that reduces the deficit, there's more room even for deficit hawks to think about rebate checks like the president talked about because we've actually done such a good job cutting spending and the supply side effects, the Laffer curve effects of the tax cuts have actually made revenues go up. We're up about $200 billion relative to last year in revenue as well. So it makes room for it. And in terms of the 50-year mortgage, the bottom line is that it would reduce the monthly payment. We've got a real problem in America that too few people are getting that first home, and the age of first-time home buyers has gone up by about 10 years over just the last few. And so President Trump is really focused like a laser beam on trying to come up with something that addresses that.
Let's get the housing market on fire again. Oh, and we have this. An enraged leftist storming into Senator Kane's Virginia office demanding to meet him regarding voting to reopen the government.
So then I made my way into Kane's. Hi. I spent about a couple hours trying to call this morning and y'all didn't pick up. So then I drove an hour and a half to be here. So now I'd like to meet with my senator, please. So I'll wait whenever he's ready. Well, he should find time because he is a traitor. He should find time. No, I'll wait. It's okay.
We can't guarantee
Is he in here right now or is he on the floor? Or is he selling 55,000 people a year to die?
Wow. We get a member of our staff.
No, I want to speak with my senator who just voted to kill 55,000 people a year.
Oh, really? Is that what he did?
Can I speak to someone who's not an intern, please?
We're not actually interns. We can get a member of the staff to come.
Well, no, I'm going to chat with the senator, but you can get a member of staff. If you're a member of staff, then you should be able to set up for me.
Looks like Karen went right to the manager's office. Oh, they can't stand it. Oh, my goodness, you voted to reopen government, and you killed 55,000 people.
You said people gonna die?
That's what she said, Jar Jar. Comrade Ocasio, moving on up. It's not a good thing, but it's coming. That's what Juanita Broadwick just posted. Holy smokes. CNN is shocked after learning Chuck Schumer's approval rating is the lowest in decades. the least popular guy for a Democrat Senate. Listen.
Dem Senate.
How are Democrats feeling overall about Schumer? We've seen a lot of comments from some House Democrats, but what about overall?
What about Democrats nationwide feeling about Chuck Schumer? I think the word of the day is terrible, 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 terrible. To quote another Charles Barkley when it comes to Chuck Schumer, look at this. Least popular Dem Senate leader ever. I looked at all of the polls going all the way back since 1985. The one who has the lowest rating among Democrats is, in fact, Chuck Schumer. Look at this. He's underwater with Democrats. His own party, he's underwater. He's at -4 points. That makes him the least popular guy for a Dem Senate leader going all the way back since the mid-1980s at least.
Do you have a sense of why?
Why? It's because Democrats, they want a fighter. They want a fighter. That's why. Take a look here. Democrats, Dems in Congress do too little to oppose Trump. During the first term, it was just 46% in 2017. That's the percentage of Democrats who said that the Dems in Congress are doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at where we are now. 69%. That is an increase of, get this, 23 points. The super duper majority of Democrats believe that the Democrats in Congress are not doing enough to oppose Donald Trump. And that, of course, is a big, huge criticism of Chuck Schumer. And that is why he is underwater.
I knew.
So even he holds the government hostage isn't good enough for them. They want even more. Unbelievable, these Democrats, so delusional. Dangerous, just dangerous concept. They want more.
The dip. All right.
I always do the dip. I need my exercise in the morning.
There has been talks of a challenge to Schumer.
Uh-oh.
What are you saying on that front? Who looks like they're in place to do it?
Okay, so you see this opening slide here, and you see, of course, that Chuck Schumer is underwater with Democrats nationally. But, of course, the ultimate way to get Chuck Schumer out of office is to beat him in New York State. So how do New York State Democrats feel about Chuck Schumer? And take a look here. The net favorable among New York Democrats.
Cow.
Chuck Schumer is above water with the Democrats in his home state, but just by 16 points. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez running way ahead. If she decides to challenge Chuck Schumer and come 2028, she's got a real leg up on the competition. I dare say at this point she would be the favorite to beat him, which would be something that would just blow my mind, even just a few years ago, given that Chuck Schumer, of course, is a New York born bred type of guy.
Yeah, those are incredible.
Look at that, 30 points ahead. My goodness gracious.
That's a lot. All right, Harry Enton, you're always 100% ahead of the curve.
Are you seeing this? AOC 30 points ahead of Schumer. She could be a senator very soon. That's terrifying. That is terrifying to consider. Oh man, with these new elections coming up, oh boy. Fetterman wasn't done though. He made the rounds today on the press, excoriating his own party for crossing a red line, by refusing to pay the troops and starving Americans.
Over the, I mean, so relieved. I think my party crossed a line of now putting 42 million Americans with their SNAP benefits and making flying less safe and that kinds of chaos and not paying our military. I mean, that was a red line for me that I can't cross as a Democrat. And I think that's been described, country over the party. And now that I think that's been the truth throughout it. And it's only wrong to shut our government down. And I'm relieved. But the people now that are going to get paid and fed and millions of Americans, they're going to be flying now. That's going to be made more safe and restored. I mean,
wow,
so
man.
relieved.
Fetterman just blows my mind every time I see him in the press. CNN confirming Schumer has the worst approval ratings in years. Fetterman slamming the party on Fox News, making the rounds. Representative Nancy Mace, 9 hours ago, posts Schumer-led Senate Democrats straight off a cliff. The headline on Fox News, Senate Democrats cave, open path to reopening government. Fetterman, my party crossed a line. Scott Jennings, 12 hours ago, posting, last night, someone startled to hear a member of Congress say a judge can compel the executive to spend money that hasn't been appropriate. I think maybe they kings after all. Scott Jennings, CNN.
Do you believe as a member of Congress, a judge can compel the executive to spend money that you haven't appropriated?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought we didn't want kings. Maybe we need king for a day. What do we need? I mean, that is literally a king spending money that is not appropriated.
Judge is not a king.
No, you're turning the president into one if he can spend without appropriation.
Well, now,
look, you guys have been railing against Trump being authoritarian, having too much power, too much executive power. And at the same time, Democrats have been arguing that he should go out and spend money that has not been appropriated this year by Congress. I just shows a huge flaw in tariff policy.
Would Congress have to approve that? Would Congress have to appropriate that?
Absolutely. It would seem to me, where's he going to get the money from?
Well, we've taken in billions of tariff revenue.
Right, but doesn't Congress hold the purse? So I guess the
Can't trust Congress with the purse. You just told me in the last segment that a judge could tell the executive to spend money that hasn't been appropriated.
No, it has been appropriated.
It wasn't.
That's not what I said.
That's not what he said, Scott.
Sure it is. I asked him
that money.
Sounds like a conflict in the three branches of government there. Some people don't know their Constitution very well. CNN's Van Jones, Vigilant Fox, writes, copes hard on air with a bizarre spin on Democrats caving to end the government shutdown. If you've ever wondered what cognitive dissonance looks like, this is it. Van Jones knows that Democrats folded and walked away empty-handed, but instead of admitting it, he says they should rejoice and take the win. Listen.
Pain. Look, right now, Democrats are going to kick each other and tear each other up and be mad at each other. But when the smoke clears for most Americans, something has been proven here. Republicans are just not that into Americans right now. I mean, how much pain were the Republicans willing to let Americans suffer so they didn't have to? They're just not that into you, America. They were willing to let planes fall out the sky. They're willing to let children starve. They're willing to let federal workers get evicted from their houses rather than sit down and cut a deal on health care. Like everything that David Urban just said is correct. There's a smarter, better way to do health care. And an opportunity was put forward this past 6 weeks to sit down and talk about it. Republicans didn't do it. They were willing, Donald Trump and Republicans were willing to let planes fall out the sky and children starve before they came to the table. So when Democrats get finished beating themselves up, look at the tattoo you just put on the Republican Party. They don't care about your health care. And so I think take the win on this, Democrats, and keep moving. You had 7 million people in the streets. I'll give you your turn. But you had 7 million people in the streets. That's a good thing. You kicked their butts last week when it comes to the vote. That's a good thing. And you just exposed these guys as not caring about regular Americans. I think that's a good couple of weeks for Democrats, but we're still going to be mad at each other about it.
How do these people live with themselves? The gaslighting off the chart from Van Jones, but I expect nothing less from him. Rand Paul, the only Republican to vote no on the shutdown funding bill. Here's the president 24 hours ago talking about Chuck Schumer and the Democrats thinking they could break the GOP.
Policy they have. He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. But he did think that we have good policy, they have bad policy. And there's something, I don't know if it's Trump derangement or are they just crazed. They're like crazed lunatics. But, we have just great policy. We have good people. They have some good people, too. I know a lot of Democrats. They're not all crazy. They're not all. You have some that are absolutely terrible. I look at this Crockett. This is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution. The whole thing is crazy. I feel badly because I've known Chuck Schumer. I knew him when he was a person who loved Israel, and now he's a Palestinian. He's become a Palestinian. And it's amazing. I've never seen a politician change so much. Also, he doesn't have, he was a pretty talented guy. He's lost his talent. He thought he could break.
Chuck Schumer is a Palestinian now. Oh, my goodness. Caitlin Collins says, posting 20 hours ago, you're going to have a health care bill by the second week of December. GOP Senator Roger Marshall, we will. We've been working this very hard for several years. So the president himself delivered the final blow, standing before cameras. Trump declared what everybody knows. Schumer thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. We have good policy. They have bad policy. The shutdown is over. The Democrats caved. And Fetterman, he just became the first domino in what could be a mass exodus from the radical left. The great realignment has begun. So this is bigger than one senator's defection. We're watching the death throes of the Obama-Biden era and the birth of something new. When Democrats put illegal aliens before veterans, when they'd rather starve families and secure borders, they've sealed their fate. Fetterman saw it coming and he jumped ship. So who's next? The economic numbers don't lie. Trump's policies are working. Incomes are rising. American families are winning again. The swamp creatures can scream all they want, but their time is up. So here's my question. Let's have a conversation in the comments. Should Republicans accept Democrat defectors like Fetterman? Or is this just another establishment trick? Drop your answer in the comments because this story is far from over. The political realignment accelerates by the day. And remember, while the establishment crumbles, we've got your back with exclusive Next News gear at the link below. Stay vigilant, Patriots. The best is yet to come. All right, we're going to check in with our super chatters tonight, see if anyone's made... Oh, no super chats, but we do have a new member. GC is a new member. Where are my super chatters tonight? Come on, guys. We got a goal to hit, and we're only in the second segment. We got to tear the veil off of Obamacare right now. This is exploding all over today. Oh, yes. Obama administration, this is crazy what's now coming to light. Let's see here. I wanted to make sure we get this all queued up. All right. They called it the Affordable Care Act. What a sick joke. New evidence just exposed the most massive government fraud in American history. $27 billion vanishing every single year. Millions of fake recipients. And the architect who designed it, he's on tape laughing about how they fooled you. Wait till you hear what he really said. You see, your healthcare premiums didn't triple by accident. This was designed theft at an industrial scale. 6.4 million people are fraudulently collecting subsidies right now. 800,000 illegal aliens with fake social security numbers are stealing benefits meant for citizens. And you're paying for all of it. Every paycheck, every tax return, every medical bill that bankrupts another American family, it all feeds this monster. The numbers are staggering. 62% of subsidy recipients don't even qualify. Now, that's not incompetence, that's organized crime. And while insurance executives buy their third yacht, cancer patients, they have to choose between medicine and food. This is not about money. This is about a government that views you as a cash machine for their donors. And speaking of taking control of your health without breaking the bank, clinical trials show collagen peptides deliver real results. Women taking 2.5 grams daily saw 25% reduction in eye wrinkles and 29% boost in skin hydration. That's actual healthcare that works. BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen gives you 5 premium collagen types for skin, joints, and bones. No insurance scams required. I've seen the difference myself. Smoother skin, better joint health, real results. While Obamacare bleeds you dry, BioTrust offers 51% off at healthwithgary.com, plus free VIP coaching, a free skin health ebook, and a 60-day guarantee. Real health solutions at healthwithgary.com. Take back control. Now, here's the smoking gun they buried for years. MIT economist Jonathan Gruber, Obamacare's mastermind, got caught on camera admitting the whole thing was built on lies. He literally said lack of transparency was a huge political advantage and called American voters stupid. This wasn't healthcare reform. It was wealth redistribution through deception. Even CNN's Anna Navarro accidentally exposed the scam when she complained about 300% premium hikes. Scott Jennings instantly burning her. It's called the Affordable Care Act, and it wasn't. Game over. So here he is. This is the guy, the man who designed Obamacare. Jonathan Gruber, MIT economist, openly admitting the entire Affordable Care Act built on lies, bragging about lack of transparency. His own words. Listen.
Really cannot do it. Okay, transparent financing, unless I have transparent financing, also transparent spending. I mean, this bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay, so it's written to do that. In terms of risk-rated subsidies, if you had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in, it made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money, it would not have passed. Okay, just like lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent, but I'd rather have this law than not. So it's kind of like his reporter story. There's things I wish I could change, but I'd rather have this law than not.
So first of all, you haven't publicly commented on this so far. Do you stand by the comments in that video?
The comment in the video were made at an academic conference. I was speaking off the cuff. And
another Massachusetts hero, John Kerry, or more like the staff, came up with a great substitute idea. They said, look, what you economics nerds want to do is you want to say that for people with expensive health insurance plans, they will no longer get a 40% tax break. What if we instead just levied a 40% tax on the insurance companies that sell these terrible expensive Cadillac plans? We said, well, that's pretty much the same thing. Well, why does it matter? I said, you'll see. And they were posted and that passed. Because American voters are too stupid to understand the difference. So basically,
I was speaking off the cuff, and
until the second Massachusetts hero arose, John Kerry. And John Kerry said, no, we're going to tax your health insurance. We're going to tax those evil insurance companies. We're going to impose a tax that if they sell health insurance that's too expensive, we're going to tax them. And conveniently, the tax rate will happen to be the marginal tax rate under the income tax code. So basically, it's the same thing. We just tax the insurance companies. They pass it on higher prices. That offsets the tax break we get. It ends up being the same thing. So a very clever, basically exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter.
Oh,
okay.
I was speeding off
politically. You just literally cannot do it.
He saw him getting confronted. Oh, I was just speaking off the cuff. Yeah. On 3 different occasions, you admitted it. Mocking the American voter and manipulating the law. Holy cow. 24 hours ago, Scott Jennings writes, the one thing this government shutdown has exposed is the complete and utter failure of Obamacare. This disaster, which is basically one big money laundering scheme, was unleashed on America by who? The Democrats. Listen.
Realizing, and I'll tell you one thing this has exposed, though, the complete and total failure of Obamacare. I mean, it's not affordable. No, people that have it don't feel like it even is real insurance. And now we see, I mean, it's a mess. And if anytime the government's having to subsidize something like this, it's not working in the first place. And so I think the American people are realizing just how messed up the American healthcare system is. And the regime under which we live is Obamacare. But look, I think a lot of Republicans do not want people to see skyrocketing premiums. And so we'll see what that debate looks like. This whole thing has exposed this outlandish money laundering scheme where your tax dollars go right into insurance companies and your health insurance never gets better, your health care never gets better, your health outcomes never get better. That's what we have exposed here. So what our responsibility is as a Republican Party, how do we stop getting your tax money to insurance companies, and how do we put more actual money into the health care of the American people? Because I can assure you, writing a bunch of checks to insurance companies doesn't make your health care any better. But I'll tell you one thing.
The Obamacare scam is unraveling at a rapid pace. Lindsey Graham, 9 hours ago, big insurance companies cash in on Obamacare signups, not quality of care. President Trump made it clear that gravy train is over. Lindsey Graham.
As consumers, insurance companies get paid for everybody they sign up. They've had hundreds of thousands of people that have never made a claim. So insurance companies get more money when they sign people up. They could care less about quality. It was said to save us money as consumers. It's over doubled in terms of premiums. And insurance companies, the largest 7 in the country, have had their stock prices since 2010 go up between 500 and 1,000%. Donald Trump said Saturday, that gravy train is over. I'm going to take this money and give it to the consumer so they can buy better health care and take it away from the insurance company. We're going to win that fight in December. Insurance companies.
Buckle up, folks. You know what's coming next, right? Trump care. They are going to destroy and gut Obamacare, and you are going to have Trump care. He's already starting with Trump RX, right? That's just getting the foot in the door. 9 hours ago, Wall Street apes. New report on the Barack Obama Affordable Care Act shows 6.4 million people fraudulently receiving Obamacare subsidies. 62% of Obamacare subsidy recipients don't qualify. $27 billion a year in fraud from Obamacare. Here is Carolyn Piffin with the report.
People are fraudulently. Looks like the fraud just continues to ramp up everywhere we turn. The administration just announced that 6 states have been stealing federal tax dollars in order to illegally give health care to illegal aliens. Over $1 billion stolen in just the past few months in 6 states. Individuals aren't doing much better. According to a recent report, 6.4 million people are fraudulently receiving Obamacare subsidies from you and me. 62% of Obamacare subsidy recipients don't even qualify. That lie is costing all of us over $27 billion a year, all while our insurance premiums just keep escalating. I'm over $30,000 a year now with a $10,000 deductible. Insurance companies don't care because they just keep getting richer and richer.
I hate insurance companies with a passion. Dr. Roger Marshall. He is husband, father, grandfather, doctor, U.S. Senator for Kansas. On the Senate floor, stating that up to 40% of Obamacare enrollees never file a claim. That's billions in taxpayer dollars flowing to insurance companies for people who don't even use the system.
I want to turn to talk about fraud just a little bit more. Get this, 35 to 40% of Obamacare recipients that are enrolled in Obamacare never file a claim. Let me say that again. There's 24 million people on Obamacare. 35, 40% of those people never file a claim. These are ghost people. They don't even know they're on Obamacare. They've been falsely enrolled in Obamacare. Now, some people would say, "Oh, but there's always some people that don't file a claim." It's usually more like 10%. More like 10% of people in a pool of insurance products are not filing the claim. In this case, it's 35 to 40%. And overall, I think we could say that this group of people in Obamacare is a high-risk group. Big cities like Chicago have pushed people that took early retirement and pushed them onto Obamacare. These are typically sick people that have been pushed off other plans and they went towards Obamacare. And trust me, I want to address that. That's why we need a high-risk pool that would address those types of folks as well. But the point here is that some 10 million people on Obamacare are not using it, but the federal government is getting the entire premium paid. The insurance companies are getting the entire premium paid by the federal government. So 10 million people, a premium every month. It's like a slot machine going to big insurance companies.
You are just paying in to a slot machine that never pays out. Oh, I think Trump care is going to be awesome. Obamacare was bankrupting Americans' free bird rights. Obama, insurance companies, and the Democrats were using it to run the biggest money laundering scheme in a long time. I can't wait to see all of you in Gitmo. That's what Freebird writes. Don't ever forget, it was the Democrats and Obama that orchestrated Obamacare and made billions of dollars of profit for the health insurance companies. Obamacare was a lie, and now Americans are facing the consequences. And instead of taking responsibility, Democrats have shut down the government, demand Republicans fix the mess they created. Oh, here is, let's see, let's take a flashback moment.
It will actually reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the long term. Reducing the waste and inefficiency in Medicare and Medicaid will pay for most of this plan. It will slow the growth of healthcare costs for our families, our businesses, and our government. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize.
All lies. That's all we hear from these people. Straight up lies. Anna Navarro getting nuked by Scott Jennings on Obamacare on CNN.
To a point to hear horrible stories. People are not going to be able to afford their insurance. I don't think even with subsidies, they're going to be able to afford the premiums that are hiking up 100, 200, 300%.
Wasn't Obamacare supposed to fix that?
When people, not without the universal. I mean, there's
Affordable Care Act.
Yeah,
Affordable was the first word.
The Republicans have been chipping away at the ACA, and I think this is going to be the death of the ACA. But it's also going to be the death of some Americans who don't go get screenings, who don't get diagnosed early enough in order to get treatment, who go in and instead of being stage 1 cancer are going to be stage 4 cancer. And we're going to hear horrible stories because Americans are going to choose to drop health insurance that they cannot afford. And we as a country have got to figure this issue out. I'm going to hear horrible stories.
Anna Navarro on CNN. Here is the skiff. 24 hours ago, the Obama administration was making so many unauthorized payments to private insurance companies participating in Obamacare, they couldn't even keep up to cover their own tracks. A government watchdog has determined the Obama administration violating its own health care law by illegally diverting up to $5 billion to private insurance companies participating in Obamacare. The U.S. Government Accountability Office is the nonpartisan federal watchdog that determines whether federal officials are spending taxpayer dollars in accordance with the law. In a legal opinion issued last week, the GAO accused the Obama administration of illegally diverting billions of taxpayer dollars to private insurance companies. The opinion concerned the administration's implementation of Obamacare's reinsurance program, one of several insurer bailouts designed to prop up Obamacare's rickety finances. Generally speaking, the reinsurance program taxes consumers in non-Obamacare plans to subsidize insurance who sell Obamacare plans. The program collects $25 billion from consumers, with $20 billion going to Obamacare participating insurers and $5 billion to the federal treasury. The law is specific. The amount that each health insurer pays towards the $5 billion designated for U.S. Treasury may not be used for the reinsurance program, but once insurance companies participating in Obamacare exchanges started suffering huge losses and heading for the exit, the administration began funneling them the money that was supposed to go to the Treasury. The administration has so far diverted $3 billion and counting. That is the latest on what happened to all the Obamacare money. That was published just 24 hours ago by The Skiff. Wall Street Apes, an American doctor of 40 years, explains how Barack Obama allowed insurance companies to steal unlimited amounts of money from taxpayers with the Affordable Care Act. Buckle up.
That insurance companies, why do our health insurance costs go up every year? Can't we get 1 year where it's steady, or God forbid they go down? And the reason for that is it was designed that way. There's something called in the Affordable Care Act called the medical loss ratio. The medical loss ratio means that insurance companies must spend between 80 to 85% of all premium dollars on medical services. That means they're limited to 15 to 20% for administrative overhead and profit. So that means that they play a little game. The higher the top line is, the bigger that number is. So now all we did was say, let's charge more each year. If you look each year, the insurance companies' revenues go up every year. The second thing they did to get around that was they started vertically integrating. What's vertical integration? That's when you start buying companies that are not insurance companies, but in similar businesses. So they started buying pharmacy benefit managers, which are middlemen for the drug companies. They started buying pharmacies. They started buying physician services and physician groups. So why is that important? Well, think about this. I'm the insurance company. I want to make it look on paper like I'm making my medical loss ratio, because if I don't, I'm going to have to pay a rebate. So what I do is I have my physician over here who's owned, and I overpay him, but he's owned. So when I overpay him, all I'm doing is I'm showing I have an expense here, but it goes back in my other pocket. Same thing for drugs. I can take a $50 drug, I can pay $200 for it. Now I've just gotten around the medical loss ratio because somehow the government can't figure out how to trace that dollar beyond the insurance. So that's how they get around it, and this is why our insurance premiums go up every year, and they're going to keep going up until we change the system. What are our health insurance costs go up every?
Change the system. Trump care coming soon, right? So a government watchdog just confirmed what we've suspected all along. The Obama administration was making so many unauthorized payments to insurance companies they couldn't even track the money. One doctor who saw 40 years experience laid it bare the system was designed for insurance companies to steal unlimited taxpayer funds. And that's why the premiums always go up, because they're supposed to. But the gravy train is over. 15 years of legalized theft. It all ends right now. This wasn't healthcare. It was highway robbery wearing a lab coat. Democrats built a money pipeline from your wallet to insurance companies' vaults and called it compassion. MIT's own architect admitted they relied on your stupidity to pull it off. Well, America just woke up, and way too late. President Trump, he is getting ready to dismantle this criminal enterprise piece by piece. No more subsidies for people who don't qualify. No more fake Social Security numbers gaming the system. No more backdoor billions to corporate cronies. The swamp fought to protect their cash flow, but the slaughterhouse just opened for business. So here's my question for the comments. Should everybody who illegally received Obamacare subsidies be forced to pay it back? Yes or no? And would you like to see Trump care coming soon? Sound off below. The fraud stops here. The reckoning begins now. Get your next news gear at the link in the description and show them we are done being played for fools. All right. Speaking of subsidies, Super Chat's coming in. SNRA Snanras over on, it looks like Rumble, dropping $5. Thank you. Thank you very much. Captain Sasquatch also dropping $5. Can you do a story for everyone on what healthcare premiums were like just before Obamacare so people know what they should be going back to? We'd have to do some research on that. I wish I had that question before this show. Craig dropping $10. Nebraska reporting for duty. Hello, everyone, and God bless everyone here. Thanks, Gary, for all that you do. Well, thank you for supporting this show. We're moving right along into our next topic. We are at $15 in Super Chats, $20 in Super Chats and Rumble Rants coming in hot. You guys are the backbone of the show. And speaking of backbone, those Patriots that went to the Charlie Kirk final Turning Point event, well, they have some serious backbone for what they had to endure. We got all the details from that event. We're going to break it all down and the DOJ's response right now. This just in, so we have all the details. So stick around because we're just getting started. The smoking gun just dropped. The police chief who allowed Antifa to terrorize Charlie Kirk's memorial at Berkeley, she's the same officer who orchestrated security failures on January 6th. This was supposed to be a tribute to our murdered friend. Instead, it became a coordinated attack by the same deep state operatives. And wait till you hear who she is. Now, this changes everything because the UC Berkeley police chief, Yogananda Pittman, not just any cop. She was the Capitol Police intelligence officer during January 6th, the same woman who facilitated an operation now overseeing Berkeley, where Antifa was given free rein to attack students mourning Charlie Kirk. Think about the implications. The deep state rewarded a J6 operative with a cushy California job in her first major test, allowing terrorists to assault a memorial service. This was not random violence. This was orchestrated from the top. And the same people who engineered J6 are now protecting Antifa while they celebrate political assassination. We're looking at a coordinated federal operation against conservatives. They're using the same playbooks, stand-down orders, intelligence failures, and violent radicals as foot soldiers. And as we wrap up 2025, it is time to reflect because we've learned uncertainty isn't temporary, it's permanent. Waiting for normal is not a plan. My friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves for over a decade by diversifying with gold and silver. Nobody knows what 2026 brings, but in an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, lasting, and yours. When you're with family this holiday season, remember, the best gift isn't under a tree, it's peace of mind, and that's what Noble Gold delivers. Peace of mind, 1 ounce at a time. Before year's end, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit today. That's nextnewsgold.com. Link below. Don't leave your future chance. And if you want a shot at those 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins for some great stocking stuffers, only qualified accounts, call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And now this just in. Okay, you ready for this? Because the evidence is damning. Officer Pittman helped with all aspects of the J6 ops, then gets rewarded with a Berkeley chief position. Her first big event, Antifa attacks Kirk's memorial while police stand down. Yeah, it's always the same people. One notes, Key West Jess is demanding a federal investigation into Pittman's role. This connects by any means necessary. The same Marxist cell back in 2017 with federal protection at the highest levels. They're not even hiding it. The deep state and Antifa working hand in glove. Key West Jess right here. Investigate the chief of police, Yoga Nandi, whatever, Pittman. You figure it out. Yoga Nanda Pittman. She was the head of the freaking Capitol Police. Dude, you can't write this stuff. This is better than a Hollywood movie because it's real life. Former interim head of the U.S. Capitol Police will be the new chief of police for University of California, Berkeley. Pittman will take charge February 1st, 2023, replacing Margot Bennett. Oh, it makes sense now. And then we have this. The DOJ formally notifying UC Berkeley they're launching a full investigation into the university after they failed to protect conservatives attending Turning Point USA's event last night. According to Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, mob assault and thuggish intimidation of attendees exercising their First Amendment rights are unacceptable. UC Berkeley could not even protect the Patriots, and it got bad. Here's the official letter to the University of California, Berkeley regarding the TPUSA protests directed at President Milliken and the University of California Board of Regents. Signed Harmeet Dillon. Oh yeah, DOJ is on the case. Look at this picture. Look at this. This is what happened. Look, he's wearing a red Freedom shirt, the same shirt in red that Charlie Kirk was wearing in white when he was assassinated. Look at the blood on his face. That's how bad it got at Berkeley. UC Berkeley did release a statement about the violent Antifa mob on November 10th. It says, we will conduct an investigation and cooperate with any federal investigations looking into the outside agitators who came in prepared for violence. UC Berkeley condemns all violence and will hold accountable anyone who violates the law or campus regulations. Well, what about stopping it? What about preventing it? I mean, that's really what your job is. You see, oh, well, it just got out of control and we'll catch them later. No, your job, first and foremost, is to stop it at the beginning, before it even gets to that point. They condemn all violence. Oh, lovely words. Lovely words. There is no place at UC Berkeley for attempts to use violence or intimidation. Well, apparently there was. There was quite a place at UC Berkeley where it all went down. DOJ demands records from UC Berkeley over TPUSA protests. Justice Department Civil Rights Division ordering UC Berkeley Police Chief Pittman to preserve all communications tied to November 10th Turning Point protests.
Break it up! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Hey, white boy! Break it up! You're bleeding, bitch! Yep. Hey, white boy! You're bleeding, white boy! Hey, white boy! White boy! You're bleeding! Break it up! What happened? What happened, white boy? Relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. Do not. Relax. What happened, white boy? Hey, white boy! What the fuck happened?
Guy. You guys tried to rob me. Okay.
Can you guys step back, please? You guys can film, but just...
Talk now, or you... Hey, you got cracked on. You got cracked, motherfucker. Give me your other hand. Give me your other hand. Can you please move me away from here? What's that? Hey, white boy, you leave me off.
Do you want to tell us what happened?
That was just one moment caught on camera. You can't make this up. Officer Yagananda Pittman helped with all aspects of January 6th ops. She gets a high-paying chief of police job as a reward. Where? UC Berkeley, where Antifa is allowed to riot and terrorize a Turning Point event. Always the same people. Frontlines, Turning Point USA, Antifa protesters rushed the entrance of the event, attempting to break down the barriers. Attendees were all rushed behind a police arrest, and another anti-TPS protester had been arrested. Look at this. Dude, they need to crush Antifa and crush it fast. These are organized domestic terrorists. Fun fact, this is Yolanda Pittman, who was the interim head of the Capitol Police on January 6th. Less than a month later, she was transferred to Berkeley and named their chief of police, which is in Pelosi's backyard, a cushy position. Coincidence? Absolutely laughable. CBS News reporter describes Antifa attack on TPUSA event as lively and mostly peaceful. Haven't these guys learned? They lose all credibility whenever they continue to parrot these lines. Just like the Summer of Love, you got burning liquor stores and Target stores behind them. Oh, it's mostly peaceful. But this one's lively and mostly peaceful.
You can see them here in the Bay Area. It comes just 2 months after the killing of Turning Point's founder, Charlie Kirk, who was supposed to headline tonight's event. Our Amanda Harry is live on the scene there, where protesters also showed up. We've already actually seen at least one fight break out. Amanda.
Yeah, things have been lively here. While that Turning Point USA event is still happening inside, protesters have been out here for hours. You can see them still here behind me. They have been chanting, just a very, very lively scene out here. While things have been mostly peaceful, there have been some tense moments. Earlier this evening, there was a scuffle that broke out where two men started fighting. UC Berkeley police had to break up that interaction. Later, someone was throwing smoke bombs and a car backfired, leading some of the people who were protesting to run away. The protest was put together by students organizing for liberation. Some students say they don't believe UC Berkeley should host a large Turning Point USA event like this one, but other people are happy to be here for the event.
It's called Freedom to Assemble and Free Speech. Quite simple.
Turning Point USA should not be here, and they are like a fascist organization, and nobody here agrees with what they are saying. And obviously Charlie Kirk has been a big issue with like a lot of college campuses and people on college campuses. So we just think obviously I didn't really follow him a lot, but knowing what he did and knowing the things that he was saying, it's just like vile and disgusting. So we don't want to support his organization, and I don't think that the Berkeley chancellor should have let them come here.
I love being involved in politics. It's something that's always interested me. Very conservative, and Charlie was a great influence on my life, just how to live as a man and a godly man. So when I heard that they were bringing TPU here, I was like, heck yeah. And
CBS Bay Area did confirm that 4 students were arrested earlier today on suspicion of felony vandalism. We do have a lot of police officers still out here watching this event, keeping a close eye on everything that is happening here. We'll have the latest for you at 11.
All right, Amanda Harry.
Oh, yeah. It got nasty. $1 billion a year of our tax dollars go to UC Berkeley, this is not a return on investment. Look at this madness that unfolded. Who is behind the violent Antifa attack on TPUSA at Berkeley? Jack Posobiec writes, the answer goes back many years to the Battle of Berkeley in 2017. They're called by any means necessary, and they must be rolled up by law enforcement. Here he is on Fox.
Pacific Northwest. That's right. So this organization, it's been tied back to By Any Means Necessary, which is a group that's conducted Antifa attacks throughout Berkeley, going all the way back to the Battle of Berkeley in 2017. They've conducted attacks all throughout the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. They participated in events with Antifa in Portland and Seattle. And so these networks are very much still on the ground. And the United States government has already designated them as terrorist organizations. We need to now start doing the work of cracking down on the ringleaders, on the network nodes, and those in power to actually be able to stop the organization before. Look, this is just a peaceful event where we've got kids that want to come in, that want to learn about Turning Point USA, that want to pray, that want to go and spread the Christian message just like Charlie wanted. But just like we found out at the very first event of this tour, violence was going to be what we were met with. And in fact, that's what they were met with again tonight.
Violence. By any means necessary. Nice name of an organization, right? Jimmy Kimmel, of course, doesn't think there's any such thing as Antifa. No, just an idea. Savannah Hernandez, a friend of the show here, says, I've been on the ground at UC Berkeley tonight. It's been absolute chaos. Here is her report.
Beginning of the night. This is Savannah Hernandez at UC Berkeley at the TPUSA Out of the Bay protest. Now, it is about 7 p.m. at this point, but this has been going on since 4:30, and my friends, it has been absolute chaos. Now, at the beginning of the night, you quickly had two people that were arrested. One person was a Trump supporter, another was an Antifa member, and as the Trump supporter was getting arrested, he stated that the Antifa member came and tried to steal his stuff, resulting in the altercation. Now, that happened fairly quickly at the beginning of the protest, and everything just evolved since then. Now, this is actually the entrance to the TPUSA event tonight, and the attendee line actually stretched out this way, and it kind of stretched into this area so people could get into this conference center behind me. Now, what ended up happening is this huge swarm of protesters, many of which are trans members, some of them are furries, and of course, many Antifa members and Antifa-aligned groups, they all ended up swarming those attendees. Now, one of the Antifa members actually lit off a flare, smoke started going everywhere, and then another protester drove past in his vehicle. It started backfiring multiple times. It kind of sounded like gunshots. I could see the visible fear in many of the attendees' eyes, and they all started swarming into this area. Now, police quickly let them pass these barriers to, essentially protect them and help with their safety, because the mob then quickly started descending on these barriers. Now, they have multiple times tried to break this area down and break these barriers down, and they have been chanting all night, calling attendees of this event fascists, Nazis, anti-Semites. They've been calling them every single name in the book while simultaneously saying that Nazis need to be killed. Now, they have also been mocking the death of Charlie Kirk, and I have seen several signs tonight glorifying and celebrating Charlie's death. So that is the protest in attendance tonight. Those are the people inside. You even had people chanting, F your homie is dead, referring to Charlie Kirk. So that's an idea of how chaotic it has been out here at UC Davis. The next challenge is going to be how attendees now leave this event, as this entrance is completely blocked with very aggressive protesters.
Very aggressive protesters. Here is former USCP chief's son describing January 7th. Pelosi calls for resignation, lies about him, installs UCP Intel Uganda Pittman as acting chief. Pittman failed to give January 6th. Intel gets vote of no confidence. This is what happened to the current police chief overseeing that mess at Berkeley.
Me. Very next day, less than 24 hours after we got control of the Capitol, Nancy Pelosi goes on national TV, blames the leadership at the top of Capitol Police, calls for my resignation on national TV, and then lies about me. Okay? The very next day, puts Yogananda Pittman as acting chief.
But Yogananda Pittman, you just described her as the head of intelligence for Capitol Police.
Correct.
So if there was an intelligence failure, which again doesn't seem like a failure, it seems very intentional to me, but if there was such a failure, she'd be responsible, correct? Or she'd be in the chain of responsibility anyway.
Well, I mean, she was the head of intelligence. So if there's intelligence failure, my thing is, do a proper analysis. Why do a knee-jerk reaction? I mean, putting her in charge. I mean, she ended up getting a vote of no confidence, so she didn't get the position from the police officers because many were upset with what happened.
Where did she wind up?
Where is she now?
Yeah,
she's chief of police for the University of California, Berkeley.
Interesting. So right across from Nancy Pelosi's district.
That is correct,
in the Bay Area.
That is correct.
So you just kind of take the Bay Bridge over there, and that's where she is now. What does that position pay? Do you know?
I think it pays pretty well. There was,
pays extraordinarily well.
I'm sure it pays. I'm sure it pays pretty good. It's interesting. There was a hearing just recently that was on TV. You can look at it, where the chief of police, Tom Manger, was asked about her position. It turns out that she was given some type of a secret leave so she could start her job on February 1st as the chief of police and not retire from the Capitol Police for months later.
Oh, so you should get the benefits.
Yeah, think about that. Yeah. It appears to be against departmental policy. And nobody allegedly was told.
What you're saying is that the head of intelligence for the Capitol Police, which demonstrably didn't have the intelligence it needed to protect the building, that person was first elevated to acting chief of Capitol Police and then given a very high-paying job right across from Nancy Pelosi's district at the University of California, Berkeley.
That is correct. And I will say this.
So that looks like a reward to me.
Well, I do know that the unit had significant intelligence. And I know many people within the unit were pushing that intelligence up to the leadership of the unit. So I do know that. Many of them became whistleblowers, and many of them were punished and forced to resign.
The revelation explodes the official narrative. Yogananda Pittman, J6 architect, now protects Antifa terrorists as they dance on Charlie Kirk's grave. Federal agents rewarded for one operation, deployed to oversee another. Same playbook, the same players, the same victims, American patriots. But despite their protection, despite their violence, Kirk supporters still pack that auditorium. The deep state can deploy all the dirty cops they want, but the truth still wins. You see, this isn't just about Berkeley anymore. We've uncovered a federal conspiracy linking J6 to Antifa violence. Yogananda Pittman's presence proves what we've suspected. The deep state uses radical foot soldiers to silence conservatives. They facilitated J6, then rewarded the architects with positions where they can orchestrate even more violence. Charlie Kirk's final tour stop wasn't just attacked by random radicals. It was targeted by a federal operation run by the same people who engineered January 6th. The tentacles run deep, but now we see them. So here's my question for the comments. Should Yogananda Pittman face federal charges for facilitating violence at both J6 and Berkeley? Yes or no? The corruption is systemic, but exposure is their kryptonite. Get your next news gear below and show them we're not backing down. They killed Charlie Kirk, corrupted our cops, but they can't kill the truth. All right, you guys are coming in hot with some more super chats. Thunder dropping $5. It is much easier to stomp out a flicker than to quash a forest fire. So Pittman dragged her feet. And another 5 from Thunder. Pittman is chief of the Donut Patrol. We're now $25 in super chats right now. Working our way towards our goal of $100. Who will be the next person to help us get to our goal? Lots of news to unpack in this next segment, so don't go anywhere. Wait till you hear what we have uncovered for you. All new information on what's going on. Okay, let's see. Wait, we're on T. This is UK. Wait a second. So, and then UK cutting the intel. Oh, yes, there it is. Yes. Okay, I see it now. I was confused. Yeah, I remember these are connected. Okay, my bad. Hey, look at that. Captain Sasquatch coming in with $5. These people forget they can be reached out to and touched. AJ Cruz has been a member for 3 months. What's up? Okay, Brian. Our oldest ally just stabbed us in the back. Britain cut off all intelligence sharing about drug cartels while a convicted murderer who tortured her victim was living free in Los Angeles. The international betrayal connects to something even darker happening in Chicago. What Governor Pritzker just admitted will blow your mind. You see, this is coordinated sabotage on multiple fronts. While Britain protects drug smugglers by refusing to share cartel intel, sanctuary cities are creating free zones for killers. Victoria Sorosian tortured a man and threw him from a 9-story window, then fled to America, where she lived freely under Biden's policies. ICE just caught her, but thousands more are hiding. Meanwhile, the UK claims our military strikes on cartel boats are legal. They're choosing drug traffickers over their closest ally. In Chicago, Pritzker openly admits he's reducing federal enforcement, creating what insiders call migrant-free zones. Mayor Johnson comparing ICE agents to lynch mobs. Texas discovered Democrats stole $1.3 million in taxpayer money to defend illegals from deportation. This isn't incompetence, it's betrayal at every single level. While politicians betray our safety, smart Americans take control of their health. Clinical trials prove collagen peptides work. Women taking 2.5 grams daily saw 25% reduction in eye wrinkles, 29% boost in hydration. BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen delivers 5 premium collagen types for real results. I've experienced it myself. Smoother skin, stronger joints, better mobility. No government program needed. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com right now, plus free VIP coaching for life, a free skin health ebook, and a 60-day guarantee. While the system fails us, take charge at healthwithgary.com. Now, the evidence keeps mounting. Bill Malhusian, it just exposed how this Moldavian murderer slipped through Biden's open borders in 2022. She lived free for years while her victim's family sought justice. And Ken Paxton just filed suit, proving Democrats literally stole taxpayer money to protect these criminals. But here's the kicker. Britain's MI6 won't even help us track cartel boats because they might get hurt. These are the same cartels flooding fentanyl into our communities, killing our kids, and Britain chooses them over us? We don't need UK intelligence if they're working for the enemy. Here's Pritzker in his first public remarks since reports that Midway Blitz agents may be out of Chicago soon.
And I will, whatever it is, the people of Chicago have deserved better than having CBP and Greg Bovino in this city. But I would not say that we're now going to be free of these terrorized neighborhoods, because ICE and CBP probably will still be here, though they will have fewer people. We'll have to continue to protect our neighbors and our friends and our families. And I will work very hard, continue to do that to keep people safe. Governor, President, whatever it is, the people of Chicago.
Governor Pritzker is a disgrace to our state. Here it is, just 8 hours ago. ICE Los Angeles arrested a Moldovan fugitive illegal alien convicted in her home country of premeditated murder with exceptional cruelty after she tortured and threw her victim out of a 9-story window. Victoria Sorosian fled to the U.S. to avoid a 17-year prison sentence and was arrested by ICE during the first Trump administration in January 2020. Per DHS, after her 2020 ICE arrest, she used various legal tactics to avoid deportation, including filing multiple appeals before ultimately being released into the U.S. during the Biden administration in 2022. Now back in federal custody after being arrested by ICE in Los Angeles just last week. UK now announcing it will halt sharing of information with the United States on drug smuggling operations in the Caribbean after strikes on U.S. cartel boats. We've been covering all these declassified videos of these cartel boats exploding one by one. Apparently, Britain is getting triggered. Maybe they're more concerned with the fentanyl trade right? Maybe some of those politicians over there have a vested interest in seeing some of those drugs circulate. UK halt intelligence sharing with U.S. boats, with U.S. for boat strikes in Caribbean, according to Eastern Pacific Report. Here it is. Our closest ally since World War I just cut off all intelligence sharing.
Intelligence. A breaking news exclusive now coming into the Situation Room. Watch this. The United Kingdom is suspending, listen to this, suspending some of its intelligence sharing with the U.S. because of the Trump administration's strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean.
We are joined now by senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak and CNN national security correspondent Natasha Bertrand. Natasha, to you first with this exclusive reporting. I mean, this is a big deal. The UK is arguably the closest ally to the United States when it comes to intelligence sharing. What else do we know?
Yeah, Pam, it's a really significant rupture here. Essentially, what we're learning is that the UK is no longer sharing intelligence with the US about these suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean because it does not want to be complicit in the US military's strikes on these drug vessels and believes fundamentally that the US military's use of force against these vessels violates international law, according to...
Well, guess what? We don't need British intelligence. We've got our own. So... you guys can go have your tea and crumpets. We'll be bombing cartel boats.
Multiple sources that we spoke to. Now, previously, the UK had been happy to help the United States locate and interdict vessels that were transiting the Caribbean that appeared to be trafficking drugs. But the key difference, of course, is that it was helping the Coast Guard intercept those vessels, arrest those on board, seize the drugs, and allowing these individuals to have some semblance of due process. But now, the U.S., of course, has started striking these boats unilaterally with military force, killing everyone on board. The total now for number of people killed is around 76. And we're told that the UK is deeply uncomfortable with that, and they believe that it is pretty blatantly illegal. Now, it is unclear exactly how long this intelligence sharing suspension is going to last, but we're told that it has been going on for well over a month now, essentially since the US began its bombing campaign, and it really underscores the continued questions surrounding the legality of this U.S. military campaign, which, of course, the U.S. government, the Trump administration, has insisted is part of an armed conflict that it is waging against cartel members and criminal organizations. But much of the international community, as well as legal experts inside the U.S., do not see it that way.
Did they forget? They must have forgot. They're using the same law that they used to go after terrorists in the Middle East. The same exact law. They designate them terrorists and they're taking them out. That's what they're doing. Except it's not in some sandy desert, okay? It's in the Caribbean Sea. They just shifted their location of enforcement, designated a different group. That's why it's legal. Check this out. This woman, she found out the hard way. Another one of these Karens, trying to obstruct ICE. Check this out. A spotter alerting illegals about ICE operation instantly regrets her actions.
You're impeding with the federal investigation. We have you on camera. We actually have news reporters with us in the vehicle. Your case will be referred over to Homeland Security investigation for prosecution. You will be arrested. This is your last and final warning. Hold on a second, guys. Give me your license, please.
Give me a warning. I have kids, she says.
I will once again tell you, you have placed us in danger.
You have placed us in danger, he says.
Put your vehicle and park and shut it off, please.
I'm just a mom. Leave me alone. I'm just a mom. Obstructing federal operations. Just a mom.
I understand, but you are impeding. Look where you are. You are almost causing an accident. You are surrounded by federal agents. I understand. Okay, I am The deputy field office director here, ma'am. Stand by. We're running the name. We're going to refer this case over for enforcement action.
Please don't. I'm just a mom, please.
You got it?
Please. I'm just a mom, please. I'm just
Kylie?
a mom. Yes, please.
Now she's panicking. She's freaking out. I'm just a mom. Well, maybe you should have stayed home with your kids.
You turn around and get out of here.
I'm getting out of here.
Here you go. Slow down.
Yes.
Hey,
I'm getting out.
guys. I got it. Got it. Everybody break away. Everybody break away.
I'm going home.
Kylie, look at me. Quiet. Look at me. Take a deep breath. Okay? I need you right now. Take a deep breath. I want you to pull over right here and go home. Okay? Take a deep breath.
I'm shaking.
You may leave. Please turn around. I'm going to stop traffic for you. Go. Okay?
He let her off easy.
See you again, Kylie. Everybody break away. I got this. Everybody go. It's not going to come back.
I guarantee you, she is not going to be doing that again. No way. There ain't no way she's going to do that again.
That Mustang's coming on you pretty fast.
Yeah.
She just ran a red light.
Wow.
She went up with you.
This is the beginning of the clip.
Little car. She's right behind you now.
She's chasing ice. What a moron. She thinks she's going to get him in her Ford Mustang EV. We have this breaking massive fake news story busted after media claim Commander Greg Bovino and illegal alien roundups are closing up shop in Chicago. The Trump administration confirms it's fake news. Operation Midway Blitz will continue.
Add to your response to this reporting out of the Chicago Tribune. Bovino's not going anywhere. The agents aren't going anywhere. They're also saying that the FBI and the assistant U.S. attorneys, the on-call task force, they make it up. They are also expected to close up shop in the coming days, per the report. Your response to that?
We're not going anywhere. We are here to stay. The Chicago people demand it, and we will continue to bring safety and security to the men and women on the ground there.
All right. We appreciate you joining us.
Midway Blitz ain't going anywhere. Pritzker was saying he responded to that. We showed you that earlier. Continuing with our report, here's Attorney General Ken Paxton posting 10 hours ago, I'm suing Harris County for unlawfully directing over $1.3 million in taxpayer money to defend illegal aliens from deportation. We want to stop the left-wing radicals who are robbing Texans to prevent illegals from being deported by the Trump administration. Here is his official letter suing Harris County. And we have more out of Chicago, straight out of the Chicago mayor and Pritzker playbook. Step 1, stoke the outrage. Step 2, when it backfires, say you condemn violence. Step 3, blame Trump and move on. Rinse and repeat. Check this out.
Thank you. Coming back to our program. On Chicago specifically, this man remains at large. Is that correct?
Yes, this coward is still at large. We have intelligence. We've been working with our federal law enforcement partners. We have quite a bit of information on this individual, and he will be brought to justice.
Okay. Tom Homan said this. Roll it number 2, guys. Here we go.
I said if the hateful rhetoric continues, especially from members of Congress, saying comparing ICE and Nazis and racists and the Gestapo, there's going to be bloodshed. This shooting at the border place in Chicago, just the latest. The bottom line is the bloodshed is going to continue as long as the rhetoric continues, especially from members of Congress.
Trish, you want to back that up?
Absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, where is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson? Where is J.B. Pritzker, the governor of that state, when there are foreign terrorist organizations who are going after our law enforcement, who are shooting at them potentially, who are putting bounties on their head? And then you're hearing the likes of Gavin Newsom and AOC, who not only vilify our law enforcement officers, but they also have been encouraging the resisting of arrest, even holding webinars and giving out pamphlets and other guidelines on how illegal aliens can avoid arrest. We've seen an unprecedented numbers of vehicle rammings, these vehicles being used as weapons against our law enforcement, not only by illegal aliens, but also by agitators as well. We've talked a number of times on this program, a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. Americans should not become numb to that statistic. That is stunning. These are men and women who are simply waking up in the morning every single day to enforce the rule of law that's on the books in Congress. And it really is a shame that the Democrat Party has decided that violence against law enforcement is okay. We will continue to do our jobs each and every day and get these violent criminal illegal aliens out of Chicago streets and out of sanctuary cities all over the country.
So Holman,
and you saw there was that woman, the mom, just one of those individuals caught on camera. Here's Mayor Johnson. Feeds reporters a steady diet of ridiculousness and lies, but today he indulged his penchant for hyperbole with this doozy. During press availability, Chicago's mayor compared ICE taking a group photo at the Bean to a lynching.
And then they have the temerity to take a picture in front of one of our public assets. There are horrific pictures that exist within America and American society, graphic ones, from lynchings to black children being prevented from entering into a public institution. And then they have the temerity to take a
comparing a picture to a lynching. We have this. Gunter Eagleman, a suspect now in custody in connection to the targeted shooting over the weekend.
A breaking update right now to a story that we've been reporting all afternoon. A suspect is now in custody in connection with Saturday's shooting targeting Border Patrol agents in this mess in Chicago. DHS says he is a criminal illegal alien from Mexico with a prior felony. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin joins us live from Chicago with the breaking news on this. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Martha, that is the breaking development that Border Patrol agents, or federal agents, I should say, now have a suspect in custody for firing at Border Patrol agents on Saturday. The video we have is after the shots were fired. People mobbed to the scene. Chicago police showed up to control the scene. But DHS says Saturday morning, Border Patrol agents were operating in the predominantly Hispanic Little Village neighborhood when a man drove up in a Jeep, opened fire, and drove away. No one was shot.
Nobody was shot, but the violence escalates because the rhetoric continues and our allies abandon our efforts. UK halting intel sharing with U.S. over deadly drug boat strikes. Britain stops sharing intelligence with the U.S. Listen, ICE agents are literally being shot at. Okay, a suspect now in custody after targeting officers in the field. Democrats encourage these attacks daily. A spotter, you saw her, a mom, caught red-handed, warning illegals about ICE, begging for mercy when she was captured. This is war. Our agents are under fire. Our allies are betraying us. Our governors are creating sanctuary zones for murderers. The border battle just went global. So connect the dots. Britain abandons us. Chicago protects killers. Democrats steal millions to defend criminals. ICE agents dodge bullets. This is not random. It's orchestrated destruction of border security from every single angle. They want America defenseless against invasion. But Trump's enforcement surge is breaking their system. Murderers are being dragged back to justice. Cartel boats are being destroyed despite British objections. The sanctuary scam is collapsing. Patriots like Ken Paxton are prosecuting the thieves who funded this betrayal. The message is clear. America first means America defended. No more foreign influence. No more sanctuary betrayals. No more stolen money for criminal defense. So here's my question for the comments. Should we suspend all intelligence cooperation with Britain until they support our border security? Drop your answer below. The free ride for foreign criminals ends now. You can show your support with some Next News gear. You'll find it linked in the description. All right, moving right along. AJ Cruz dropping $2 in Super Chat jar. Thank you, Gary. AJ says, well, thank you. We're at $32. We are like $70 shy of our goal. Come on, guys. Who's going to be the one to put us over the top? We need $70. Oh, I hate begging. Anyway, let's get to the... Whoa, who did that? Our Boyd. Seriously, bro? Oh, goodness. Our board. Tucker should have thought about outing those demons from the Maine woods before he spoke out. They're pretty mean. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Tucker Carlson attacked by a demon. This is wild stuff. We've got it. This is just now making waves, trending all day, actually. Top links on Drudge Report, too. All right. Tucker Carlson recalls waking up unable to breathe, excruciating pain ripping through his chest. When he flipped on the light, he found bleeding claw marks on both sides of his ribs. Real America's Voice confirmed what millions already sense. We are in a spiritual battle, and the enemy isn't hiding anymore. You need to hear what happened next, because when one of America's most prominent truth tellers is physically attacked by demonic forces, we've entered uncharted territory. This comes as leftists openly celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination online. Grant Stinchfield declared this is spawned from the devil himself. He's not speaking figuratively. The patterns are undeniable. Political violence, supernatural attacks, and public celebration of evil, all converging at once. Tucker warned that demons created nuclear technology and worked through government. They mocked him. They called him crazy. But those bleeding wounds tell a very different story. The spiritual forces are manifesting physically against those who seek truth. What's next? Churches under assault, conservative leaders targeted by forces beyond the physical realm, and a culture that's thrown open the gates to darkness? This is about more than politics. It's about whether America stands with God or falls to forces that want us destroyed. And as we wrap up 2025, it is time to reflect, because we've learned uncertainty isn't temporary, it's permanent. Waiting for normal isn't a plan. My friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves for over a decade by diversifying with gold and silver. Nobody knows what 2026 brings, but in a certain world, real wealth isn't digital. It's physical, lasting, and yours. When you're with family this holiday season, remember this. The best gift isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. That's what Noble Gold delivers, peace of mind, 1 ounce at a time. So before you're in, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And if you want a shot at those 10 free 1 ounce silver holiday coins, call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Now, the mockery reveals their fear. Nathan Livingstone admits Tucker believes the government works with demons. Republicans against Trump tried to dismiss it, but Tucker's testimony is clear. Something clawed him in his sleep, left him bleeding, struggling to breathe. This isn't the first time. Others are coming forward with similar encounters. In the same week, leftists celebrated Kirk's death as demonic victory. Supernatural attacks increase against conservative forces. They call Tucker the demon slayer now. Maybe that's exactly what we need, because while skeptics laugh, evil grows bolder. Here's the moment. Tucker Carlson talking about being attacked by a demon in his sleep. He's recounted this story multiple times. Let's listen to this version.
The presence of evil is kickstarting people to wonder about the good.
That's what happened to me.
That's what happened to you?
Oh, yeah. I had a direct experience with it.
In the milieu of journalism, or just...
Nope, in my bed at night, and I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled. Physically mauled.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. Or by something unseen that left...
Is that right?
Claw marks on my sides, on my...
So it left physical marks?
Oh, they're still there. Yeah. 1.5 years ago.
Was your wife terrified? I know you were.
I wasn't. I was totally confused. I woke up and I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was going to suffocate, and I walked around outside And then I walked in and my wife and dogs had not woken up, and they're very light sleepers. And then I had these terrible pains on my rib cage and on my shoulder, and I was just in my boxer shorts, and I went and flipped on the light in the bathroom, and I had 4 claw marks on either side underneath my arms and on my left shoulder. And they're bleeding.
Wait, they were bleeding?
They're bleeding, yeah. No, they're actual claw marks. And I sleep on my side, so I wasn't clawing myself. I don't have long nails. And they didn't fit my hands anyway. But yeah, that happened. So I'm not from a world where things like that happen. I never heard of anything like that happening before. I had no idea what that was. I knew it was spiritual immediately.
You did? Okay, that was going to be my question.
Yeah. I don't understand to this day. I'm not going to put it.
You didn't try to refute the spiritual part in your own mind. You went right into the.
Well, it didn't make any sense, and it doesn't now. But I'm not from a, what do they call it, faith tradition that talks about things like that or even acknowledges their existence. Like, there's nothing like that. I've never heard anybody say anything like that in my whole life.
What was the next? The presence of evil.
Tucker Carlson laying it out. Demon leftists celebrate Kirk's assassination back in September. I actually believe it spawned from the devil himself.
No one that is human. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stitchfield. I am convinced that America is now under a satanic attack. What we are facing is a spiritual war for the soul of America like we have never faced before. This is a spiritual attack. Just look at the response from those on the left to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. No one that is human can have some of the responses that I am seeing. It's no longer just that you're godless or soulless. I honestly believe, folks, I mean this. I honestly believe that Satan has taken over some of these people. How else do you explain behavior like this?
Charlie Kirk got shot and he's dead. Finally, somebody with a gun, which is almost everybody in states, grew a pair and went and shot somebody on the right side. Thank you. Can we keep this up, please?
Folks, it's evil. This violent vitriol that has taken over their hearts is not what America is all about. Certainly, it's not the behavior of the Americans that I'm so proud of. I actually believe it spawned from the devil himself. And so
there's no question the devil has been loosed upon this nation. But we have the power of God with us, so we know how this ends. Tucker Carlson's the demon slayer. That's what they're saying now. Tucker Carlson, the demon slayer. Look at these images people have been creating. Tucker Carlson slaying demons with Jesus. Amazing. Danny Polishuk talking about Tucker Carlson attacked by a demon.
He's making a whole video.
By a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. 4 claw marks on either side underneath my arms and on my left shoulder.
Pretty good way to get in cut cheating. Look at this demon, these scratch marks all over my back.
It's right here.
Correct.
And right here.
Also happens to be coinciding with a weekend trip in Vegas.
The demons hate when you go to Vegas. I guess the demons hated that I was gambling.
Yeah, the demons hate when I go to Vegas with the boys for a weekend.
It sounds like this is not a conversation for me. Like, whatever you got to tell her.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, he's making a whole video about it, so he's obviously going hard on this whole demon thing.
Well, yeah, because his wife would be like, why did you never bring that demon thing up since you talk about this stuff all the time? And he's like, I was actually doing an interview about the demon thing tomorrow.
Shooting a gun. I thought I saw the demon. I tried to shoot it. But sorry, Tuck.
Sorry, Tuck.
By a demon?
Clearly being mocked. Demon attacks Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson talking about being attacked by a demonic entity. This stuff is becoming more and more talked about by people that, if you're my age or older, you really wouldn't have grown up thinking that people of this kind of quote unquote stature would have these experiences or have them and talk about them.
I had a direct...
Tucker's talking about it. Here he is. Republicans against Trump posted this. Tucker says he was violently attacked by a demon. This is maybe from his Tucker on tour, one of his tour moments.
At all. And then I go to bed with my wife and 4 dogs who sleep in the bed. My wife said 4 children. My dogs are hunting dogs. All 5 of them wake up like that. Like we have no home invaders in my house. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I check and I couldn't breathe at all. My throat was closed. It wasn't like I was apnea or was strong as I couldn't breathe. So I get up, I stand in the doorway of our bedroom, and I'm like, wow, I'm dying. I could feel myself starting to gray out. And then I started walking in the backyard, and then it slowly came back. Like my throat kind of opened up a little bit. I was like really weirded out. I walk back in, and my wife wakes up. She goes, what is going on? I said, I don't know. I can't breathe. I feel better now. And all of a sudden, I had this horrible pain underneath my arms, like on the side of my chest, like bad. I thought I'd been like ripped with a knife or something. It just was very intense. So I go into the bathroom, I flip on the light, and I have claw marks on both sides, on right and left side on my ribs, and they're bleeding. And they're literally claw marks, 4 on either side. I put my fingers in them, don't fit my fingers, and I sleep on my side. So how could? And by the way, no one woke up, so I show my wife, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I have this like crazy intense desire to read the Bible. So I read the Bible, and I pass out in like 2 minutes, and I wake up, and the next morning I thought, "Man, did I have a wild dream?" And then I see blood in my sheets, and I go in the bathroom, and I have these bloody marks. And my wife goes, I think you were attacked by some supernatural being. And I was like trying to be logical about it. And I was like, yeah, I definitely was. And then I called one of my producers who's like, oh yeah, well, that's pretty common. I was like, what? And I've had a couple other experiences, and then I go to bed.
Pretty common. InfoWars fan posting, the evil left pushes for Tucker Carlson to become their wicker man after demon attack. Alex reveals new details of the coordinated attacks against Tucker and other pro-human thought leaders. Here's Tucker talking about the demons who created nuclear technology. Awesome Jew writes, Tucker's been losing it. He should be kept away from Trump and MAGA. The other day, he claimed he was attacked by a demon. Before that, he had a Holocaust denier on his podcast.
Good. He says, I will go back to about the dropping of the atomic bomb and the beginning of secular society. My dad and the greatest generation fought on the battlefields of that conflict and were one of the driving forces with obviously the Russian people and the Chinese people to deliver us from that time from Imperial Japan and fascist rule in Europe. But at the same time, Oppenheimer, and this is what's so chilling when you say about secular, he used, I think it was the Hindu god Vishnu. They called the project the Trinity Project, right? And at the very test there in New Mexico, he quoted what the god Vishnu about. Now I'm the destroyer of worlds, right? Don't you find that chilling, or is that tied to your? Since that time, it's been we've now dropped the spiritual, which even Oppenheimer realized in The Greatest Generation. We kind of went to what is a totally materialistic secular society that leads America to this place in 2024, and the instrument of its turnaround or its rejuvenation is a guy like Donald Trump?
Well, we didn't drop the spiritual. We just embraced, another element of it. I mean, if you're quoting a pagan god as you're incinerating civilians with a nuclear weapon, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that was the pivot point in America's history. And it's just so interesting how resistant a lot of people who I consider friends, who I agree with on most things, are to acknowledging that. That call you a pro-Hitler, you're a Holocaust denier if you question the nuclear weapons or whatever. I don't care. Of course, I'm none of those things. It goes without saying, or it should. No, I'm just noting the obvious, which is that American society changed profoundly in August of 1945, and it's reflected in the culture, it's reflected in the architecture, the art, the design, the literature. Nothing was the same after the end of the Second World War. Again, that's not a pro-Nazi statement. I couldn't be more anti-Nazi. Obviously, I'm an American. I care about this country and what happened to it after 1945. And it's a very clear demarcation line. And it seems obvious to me that nuclear weapons are demonic. There's no upside to them at all, and that anyone who claims otherwise is either ignorant or doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear technology in the first place, which are not human forces, obviously. And let me just ask you this, which I've asked a million people at dinner parties, but never in public. What was the moment we can point to that nuclear technology was invented? You know, we can point to Isaac Newton and say, what apple fell on his head? Or we can point to Albert Hoffman in his lab messing around with the, ergot bacteria. That's when LSD was made. I've never met a person who can isolate the moment where nuclear technology became known to man. And so where did it come from exactly? Oh, German scientists in the 30s. Really when? Name the date. And I've never heard anybody do that. It's very clear to me that these are demonic. I mean, these are evil. Their only purpose is to destroy the innocent, to murder the innocent. They've only been used once. And I think there's an interesting ethical debate about their use. Was Truman right or whatever? But if you take 3 steps back, you could say, well, wait a second. If you end up killing, incinerating tens of thousands of civilians, that's just a bad thing. Let's just be honest. That's just a bad thing. And anyone who does that is going to pay consequences. It's just true. And by the way, the fact the second bomb was dropped on the Christian population of Japan, which was majority in Nagasaki. In fact, it was sited in on a church in Nagasaki. Was that an accident? Why Nagasaki exactly? And by the way, why has every subsequent American war resulted in disproportionately the deaths of Christians? That would include Vietnam, by the way, where the Catholic population was decimated, up to and including Iraq and Syria, now in Russia. Why is it that our use of force consistently since the end of the Second World War has been against Christians? That's been the effect, to kill Christians. The bombing of the Balkans in the 90s under NATO. Why is that? And I just don't think it's an accident. Clearly, it's not an accident. And I'm very distressed by it. And it's not anti-American. My family's been here since the freaking founding of the country. I'm not going to stand and take that. I'm not hardly anti-American. I'm the most pro-American person I know. I love America. And I sure hardly have to say that. It's not anti-American. I'm distressed about what's being done to my country. I feel an ownership stake in this country. I was born here. I'm a citizen. In my name and with my money. Why wouldn't I? In a much...
So listen, a truth bomb has been dropped. We are under a satanic attack as a nation. From celebrating political murder to physical manifestations of evil, the spiritual realm has gone active. Tucker's wounds, they're not imagination. Kirk's assassination wasn't random. The patterns connect. Antifa violence, government corruption, international betrayal, all flowing from the same dark source. The enemy has revealed itself. The question is, will we fight back? Now, laugh if you want. Mock if it makes you comfortable. But Tucker Carlson's bleeding wounds are real. The celebration of murder is real. Spiritual darkness consuming our culture is real. We're not fighting mere political opponents anymore. We're battling forces that operate beyond human comprehension. They want our nation's soul. They want truth silenced. They want God erased. But here's what they didn't count on. Millions of Americans still pray. Millions of Americans still believe. Millions of Americans still stand against darkness. And Tucker stood in that doorway between two worlds and lived to warn us. The battle isn't just political, it is spiritual. So here's my question. Do you believe that we are in a spiritual war for America? Yes or no? Tell us below. Remember, put on the full armor. The enemy is real, but so is our faith. You can support our work, get your next news gear, and stand with us because God always wins. All right, our Boyd coming in hot with his own nuke. $50 right before that segment. Tucker should have thought about outing those demons from the Maine woods before he spoke out. They're pretty mean. AJ Cruz dropping $5 right after that. $5. Thank you. Dan Thompson, rock on MAGA people. He gives $2. Our Boyd dropping $2, and you're not skipping out on our Trump dance. Well, you know the rules on the Trump dance. We have to hit at least 200 for that. So I appreciate your 50. because we're at 116 right now. So we did hit our goal. Ridgeback pups dropping 25. Yes, demons are real. But just for you, R. Boyd, I'll give you the Trump dance. YMCA. Oh, yes, we're going to the YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Okay, there you go. All right. There you go. R. Boyd. All right. Even though we didn't hit our goal, you deserve it. So, Patriots, tonight we've witnessed the complete unraveling of the political establishment and something far more sinister lurking beneath. We started with Chuck Schumer's historic collapse, 40-year low approval ratings, and his own party turning against him. John Fetterman exposing the Democrats' willingness to starve Americans and abandon our troops just to score political points. That red line has been crossed, and there is no going back. The shutdown ended not with Democrat victory, but with their humiliating surrender. Then we pulled back the curtain on Obamacare's $27 billion annual theft, 6.4 million fraudulent receipts, 800,000 illegals with fake Social Security numbers, and an architect who laughed about exploiting voter stupidity. This wasn't healthcare reform. It was the largest money laundering operation in American history, and President Trump just pulled the plug. Then Berkeley became sacred ground as Charlie Kirk's final tour stop after his assassination turned into a defining moment for the freedom movement. But the explosive revelation changes everything. The UC Berkeley police chief, Yogananda Pittman, the same officer who helped orchestrate January 6 security failures, was rewarded with his position and allowed Antifa to attack Kirk's mourners. The deep state connection is undeniable. They deploy their J6 architect to facilitate violence against grieving patriots. And for Ranger Xbox, dropping $5 in the last minute. I was in Russia twice, 2017. They don't trust Washington, D.C. I know exactly how to tame Putin. I am on Truth Social. Thank you for Ranger Xbox. And Dan Thompson wants me to do the truffle shuffle. Oh, no. You need some bigger goals for that one. All right. But sloth love chunk. And then, of course, our investigation into the border crisis revealed shocking international betrayal. Britain cutting off intelligence sharing about drug cartels while a Moldovan torturer lived freely in Los Angeles. Pritzker's creating sanctuary-free zones while ICE agents are dodging bullets. Democrats stole millions in taxpayer money to protect these killers. The border war has gone global, and our supposed allies have chosen the wrong side. But nothing prepared us for Tucker Carlson's revelation. Attacked by a demon in his sleep, bleeding claw marks across his ribs, unable to breathe. This isn't a metaphor anymore. Real America's voice confirming we're in a spiritual war for the nation's soul. The same week, leftists celebrate assassination as satanic victory. Supernatural forces manifest against truth tellers. These aren't isolated incidents. They're connected fronts in a war against everything that we hold sacred. Political collapse, financial fraud, street violence, international betrayal, and spiritual warfare, all converging at this pivotal moment in history. So to everybody who sent in super chats and Rumble Rants tonight, thank you for standing with independent media, helping us reach our goal. Your support keeps truth alive when the establishment wants us silenced. So tell your friend about tonight's show. Share the revelations. The more people who know, the stronger we all become. Remember, while the swamp implodes and darkness rises, we have something they don't. Faith, courage, Jesus Christ, and of course, each other. The establishment thought they could break us. Instead, they broke themselves. The spiritual forces aligned against us are real, but so is the power of millions of awakened Americans standing together, covered by the blood of Jesus. So thank you for joining the Raw feed tonight. Keep fighting, keep praying, and keep spreading the truth. The battle for America's soul has been joined, and with God's help, we will prevail. We'll see you next time, Patriots. Stay vigilant.